Welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. When you're ready to transform your sales for today's transforming market, we've got you covered with your host, the queen of cold calling and founder of Salesology, award-winning author, speaker, sales trainer, and coach, Wendy Weiss.
Hi, welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. And I'm your host, Wendy Weiss. I am the founder of Salesology and creator of the Salesology prospecting method. And I'm also known as the queen of cold calling. Well, today, my very, very special guest is Alina Vincent, and she is a 5-day challenge expert and a business strategist. Her company is Business Success Edge, and she is also a speaker and an international best-selling author of 4 books. Teach your expertise, leverage your expertise, own your expertise, and monetize your expertise. So I'm going to have to ask her about that for sure. And Alina is known globally as the creator of the profitable online challenge formula, which helped her grow her business from zero to over $1 million in just 4 years. So Alina is passionate about helping entrepreneurs package and monetize their knowledge and expertise to create a leveraged and scalable business. Experts hire her for her strategic advice and simple step-by-step approach to creating successful online programs. Welcome, 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 Alina.
Thank you for having me here, Wendy.
My pleasure. So I have to start at the beginning where I always start, and that is, how did you become a 5-day challenge expert and a business strategist? Which came first?
Actually, probably both came at about the same time. I have a very interesting start to my entrepreneurial career, which means I never thought I would ever be an entrepreneur. I'm a 3rd-generation teacher. My parents were professors at the university. My grandparents were professors at the university. So that was my path in life. Go to school, get degrees, then get advanced degrees, then work, get tenure, and basically stay there. So that's what I did for the first 16 years of my career. And the last few years while I was working at the university, I got a job as an instructional designer. So I was helping integrate technology into education, into traditional classes, putting classes online. So that's where my love with online programs, online trainings kind of started. And then eventually I realized I didn't like having a boss, and I didn't like having to ask permission for anything creative I wanted to do in my life. I quit my job and I went on to start my own business. And my very first business was actually a photography business out of all of the things, because it was my hobby. And I heard this advice that if you take your hobby and turn it into a business, that's the fastest path to success. And of course, that was nothing close to that, because even though I was really good at photography, I did not know anything about marketing. I did not know anything about sales. I was terrified about talking about myself or talking to people in general. So it took me a long time to realize what it actually means to run a business. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners could relate to that. Just being good at something doesn't mean you know how to run a business and market and promote it and get clients. So that long story short, what happened is I got coaches, I got clients, I've learned more about how to actually market myself, and I got my photography business to 6 figures. But everything I was doing was one-on-one. Everything was completely unleveraged, and I had to show up every single day of my business in order for my business to make money. So eventually I realized that was not sustainable and I could not grow my business much further. And I decided I really need to find something that would allow me to serve one to many. And that's when I realized that I was really good at coaching, and majority of my clients were people who were professionals, and I was doing a lot of marketing, photography, headshots for business. And I was teaching people how to use it for marketing. I was already asking them, who's your ideal clients? What's your why? Where are you going to take all of this? How are you going to attract new clients? So I was basically closet coaching for years people and only charging them for headshots. So once that realization happened, I started my current business that I have right now, my coaching business, but I really struggled with getting clients because nobody could take me seriously. I didn't have any trust and certifications as a coach, even though I was really good at it. And that's where challenges come in. The very first thing that I created in my business that actually generated traction was putting together a challenge. It was a 21-day challenge back in the day. And I said, okay, I'm going to teach you something very specific. I'm going to walk you step by step over those 21 days. And I had 43 people sign up for that challenge. So for me, that was like the biggest break into the scene. People now knew me, people were getting results. And I've been doing challenges ever since. And that was about 10 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to ask a very basic question here because sometimes I'm like a professional dope. What exactly is a challenge?
Great question. And I love, and with my academic background, it's always, let's start with definitions. So for me, a challenge is a mini training, mini course where you have a start date and an end date, and you're taking a group of people and you walk them through a step-by-step process, and everybody is trying to achieve a common goal. So it's basically the very first challenge that I done was paid challenge. Over the years, we've tried lots of different formats. We've done paid challenges, we've done free challenges, we've done 5-day challenges, 10-day challenges, 30-day challenges, 21-day challenges. And right now, my golden standard is free 5-day challenges. If you want to get the visibility, if you want to attract clients, if you want to fill your programs, if you want to make a splash in the world, build your list and build your following, to me, that's a golden standard. So, which means in 5 days, I'm going to promise to give you something. And then every single day, I will show up and teach you how to take a very small step in that direction. So by the time we're done with the 5 days, you have achieved the transformation. You have the results to show for it.
Okay. So how does, I'm looking at the books that you wrote. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I love the fact that you have the word expertise in all of your book titles. And so actually, let's do another definition. Expertise. Before I go any further with my question, definition of expertise.
Ooh, I don't think anybody ever asked me that. I love that. So to me, expertise is all of this is your knowledge, this is your skills, this is your divine downloads, this is your talents, this is everything that you got from schooling, from certifications, from experiences, from different past careers. So anything that makes you you, and that unique base of knowledge, that unique set of abilities, that unique way of explaining things, unique set of values, everything that you add together, that's what makes you a unique expert in whatever topic you are an expert in. And most of us are multi-passionate. Most of us have multiple expertise. But when it comes to business, we usually have to narrow down to, this is the expertise I want to share with the world. This is the expertise I want to be known for. And basic definition of expertise is doing something at an expert master level better than an average person. Where that expertise comes from, honestly, it really doesn't matter. For some people, it's life experience. For some people, it's lots of degrees.
Okay. So I'm looking at the titles of your book, and books, 4 of them. You've got Teach Your Expertise, Leverage Your Expertise, Own Your Expertise, and Monetize Your Expertise.
And I'll add to that, because this year we're also publishing Package Your Expertise.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait for that one. So I'm curious though, does Own Your Expertise come first?
It should have. Because my first book, the first book we published was Teach Your Expertise. And then last year, I realized that as we were writing Own Your Expertise, I realized that not everybody can start with teaching the expertise and sharing it with the world, because not everybody owns it yet. I kind of assumed in the series that Teach Your Expertise is going to be the first one, but we've gotten a lot of feedback from but how do you actually know what you're good at? How do you know that that is the expertise you want to share with the world? So it came as a 3rd or 4th book for us. However, even in the description of the book, I say this book should have been first.
Yes, I haven't read it, and I need to, because I run into a lot of people that don't own their expertise. And if you can't own your expertise, you can't do the next steps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's assume we have an expertise. We have picked, we have chosen the expertise and we own it.
Yay.
Why do a challenge? Like
Mm.
why, how does that help the expertise?
Okay. So first of all, there's lots and lots of reasons to do challenge. So I work with a lot of people, some people who are just starting out. They might be a brand new coach or they just created a business. So their big goal is how do I become known? How do I position myself? How do I stand out? How do I start building trust with the audience that I want to work? I also work with a lot of established business owners, people who have six-figure business, multiple six-figure business, $1 million business. And in that case, they already have an established expertise and they usually have an established following. They have a list of people who want to see more from them, to want to hear more from them. So the goal for running a challenge is slightly different depending on you, where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, but the formula is exactly the same. So when you say, what will challenge do for me? It's basically anything you want. So it could position you, it could grow your list from scratch, it could start establishing your following on social media. We particular in love with using Facebook for our challenges because it's the easiest platform to get started on, and that's where people seem to be the most responsive to challenges. It can also help you monetize your list if you already have a list, and it's one of the best ways to lead people to become your clients. So in just 5 days, you can build a lot of trust with people. You can give them a sample of what it feels like to work with you. They can start seeing results. They get addicted to you and they want more of you. So all of our 5 day challenges usually lead to an offer. So as long as you have that offer, and it could be a service, it could be coaching package, it could be a program, it could be a product, it could be a software, it could be pretty much, it could be a book, it could be anything you want. But one of the goals of the challenge is number one is you getting people the result of transformation. And number two, you're creating the desire for your next offer. So anytime I do anything in my business, whether it is to fill my event or sell a book or to fill a program or to get new clients, we always do a challenge first to get that engagement going, to get the trust build up. And then we invite people to take the next step.
Okay. So I'm interested in I guess I'd call this the do's and the don'ts of doing challenges, because as you were talking, I'm wondering, do some people give too much information or either completely overwhelm the participants in the challenge because it's too much, or people feel like, oh, I can do this, I'm good.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I have two answers for that because you've basically asked two different questions. So one is, what happens if I'm trying to overshare and trying to overgive? So my specific format, something we've developed about 8 years ago, and we've taught thousands of people that went through this formula and they absolutely love it, is our format is actually very micro. So we use micro commitment, we use micro wins, we use micro learning. And what that means is we chunk our content into very small, very easy to consume pieces. So our 5 day challenge consists of 5 10-minute videos. That's it. So overall, we're talking about maybe 50 minutes of content. So if you are not basing it on like hours and hours and hours of every day, and you're saying, this is my laser coaching for you, this is my laser advice on this is the information you need to understand to take the next step. Here's what you do. Here's the example. Now go do it. It makes it much easier to consume. It makes it much easier to stick to it and actually complete the whole entire challenge. It's only going to take you minutes a day. And that's why we have such huge success with our challenges. And it's pretty much impossible to share everything you know in 5 10-minute videos. So that's the format. And that's why it works with people getting the results and then still wanting more. Now, the opposite to that is the other thing you said. Like, what if people say, like, I'm good. This was wonderful. I don't need anything else from you, right? So that is one of the biggest mistakes people make is in choosing the topic for their challenge. So as I said, we always teach people to lead their challenge to an offer. So we always start with the end in mind. What is it that you want people to say yes to at the end of your challenge? So you have to look at what is the promise of your offer? What will people be able to do at the end of the program that you're selling or the service that you're providing? And then you need to make sure your challenge is aligned with that, but not the same promise. Because if it's the same promise, people will say, oh, now I know how to make sales, or now I know how to use LinkedIn to get clients, or now I know how to sell more houses and more whatever. Now I know how to get started with real estate investing. And they go, I don't need to invest in something else with you because I got enough to get started, which we know is not, it's a dangerous place to be when people have this like, oh, I don't need anything else. But if you instead create the challenge topic, which is one of the biggest conversations we have with all of our clients is choosing the right topic for the challenge. If you choose it in a way that does not jeopardize your offer, but only creates the desire for it, that's when you're seeing the most sales. That's when you're getting the best results. So it's almost like a prerequisite or addressing an objection or doing the very small step at the beginning. So then people say, yes, I got it. I'm feeling very happy and very satisfied with the result I got. And I can see how much more work I need, or I can see why I need that next step. So that is the key, not making the promise of your challenge too similar to the promise of your main offer.
Okay, well, I love what you were saying about start with the end in mind, because I know that in sales, sometimes people just get so ahead of themselves and basically torpedo the opportunity because they're just like jumping ahead. They're not starting with the end in mind. So I love that. Yeah. So we are going to pause now for a word from our sponsor. But then when we come back, I want to hold Alina's feet to the fire because I want to know who is the challenge good for? What kind of businesses? Who should think about doing a challenge? And also, there just seem to be a lot of moving parts. I've been reading about challenges, and I've never actually done one, but there seem to be a lot of moving parts. So I want to talk about that as well. But now we're going to pause for our word from our sponsor, the Salesology Vault. Just about every guest that I have interviewed on the Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders podcast has had a gift for our listeners, and that includes Alina Vincent. I'm going to ask her about her gift in just a moment. So what we've done is we've taken all of those gifts and we've put them all in one place just for you. We call it the Salesology Vault, and it's packed full of free gifts from sales leaders, sales experts, marketing gurus, revenue generation experts. And we add another gift every single week. When we release a podcast, which we do every Monday, we add another gift. So you can log in as often as you'd like. You can download as many gifts as you like. It's all free. So go to bit.ly/gift vault, or the link to the Salesology Vault is in the show notes. So after you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link. You'll be glad you did. And I am back with my very special guest, Alina Vincent, who is a 5-day challenge expert and a business strategist. And her company is Business Success Edge. And we're talking about challenges. Welcome back, Alina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So who should think about doing a challenge? What kind of business is a challenge a fit for?
Great question. And it's less about what kind of business it is. It's more about who your audience is. It's also slightly depends on what you're offering. So again, less about the business itself, because we've done challenges pretty much from every single industry, from every single type of business. And normally I would say everybody could benefit from challenges. However, there's certain audiences that it's not the right tool for them. So one example would be C-level executives. For them to participate in a free 5-day challenge where you have to show up somewhere every day and interact is kind of way below their pay level. Like they would have their assistants doing that. They would have something else. The same thing if you're looking at the 7-figure business owners. They've paid their dues, they've looked at the freebies, they've downloaded free lead magnets, they've done free webinars. But at this point, if they want some information, if they want to get a result, they're more likely to hire somebody for a VIP day or for a consulting and just say, you know what, I'm not going to wade through a lot of information in a big group of people. I just want it right now and give it to me right now. So it's that level of where you are in business or where you are in your professional career. So if your audience is C-level executives, you probably don't want to do challenges. It's just not something that would attract them. However, if your audience is consumers, if your audience is parents or artists or business owners or coaches or consultants, like they absolutely love challenges. It's fun, it's interactive, it's engaging. They're getting a result. They're doing it as a part of a bigger community, surrounded by like-minded people. They get inspiration, they get excitement. We usually always gamify our challenges with prizes. So it's for everybody else who still wants to learn and has time to learn in that type of environment. Challenges are really awesome. So let me know if you have any specific examples, and I can tell you how challenges can be incorporated into that.
So if I run a business and I think that my audience would really love a challenge, what do I do first?
Well, first of all, if you want to know everything you need to do to run a challenge, I do have that special free gift for everybody. So I am gifting you our challenge checklist, which is the collection of all of the elements you need to put together in order to run a successful challenge. So as you said, there are some moving pieces, and there's certain things and elements you need to create and put in place before you run the challenge, during the challenge, and after the challenge. And it's all provided for you in our challenge checklist. And it's taken directly out of our program where we teach people step by step how to run their challenges. And that's the same checklist that my team and I use anytime we run a new challenge. But in general, the very first step, you want to say, what is it that I want to sell? What I want to lead people to? Again, is it a book? Is it an event? Is it a product or a digital product or a physical product? Is it a coaching package? Is it a service kind of agreement? Is it done for you? Is it done with you? So knowing what it is that you want to sell and what is the promise of it? What is the overall result that people will get if they invest in working with you? Then we take one step back and we say, okay, what do people need to realize or be aware of, or what should open up for them in order for them to realize that I absolutely need that next step? And that's how we come up with the idea for the challenge. As I said, it could be a prerequisite, it could be handling an objection, it could be something else that your people want. And then during your challenge, you're going to open them eyes to, like, this is not quite everything you need. This is only one part of the whole, and that the whole thing is going to be part of my offer. And then that's about it. Then you can set up one very simple landing page where it says, hey, do you want to, whatever, increase the engagement in your Facebook group? Or do you want to know how to polish your elevator pitch, whatever it is? You figure out a topic and you have a very simple opt-in page set up with the button that says, yes, I want to join this 5-day challenge, and you can start promoting it to your people.
Okay. So do you have to be, and by the way, we're going to talk some more about your challenge checklist in just a minute, but I will share with our listeners that I did download it, and it's very thorough. It's very, very thorough. But I will ask you, since I am a little bit of a technomoron, what if you're technology challenged? Is this something you can do?
Oh my gosh, yes. This is actually one of the probably the lowest technology related marketing strategy you can use. It's very low cost. It's very low tech. I can show you how to run a full entire challenge with about $10 worth of technology. You really don't need much. And it doesn't take that much to put it all together. So all you need is an opt-in page and a thank you page that basically says, hey, join here. And yay, you joined. Here's your next steps. And you need to have a system that allows you to send the emails to people, the autoresponder system that says, like, hey, welcome to day 1. Hey, welcome to day 2. Here's what you need to do. And we run our challenges inside of the Facebook groups. Like I said, that's one of the best places where you can have the community that's not afraid to share what's working, what's not working, asking questions, maybe show up more vulnerably, maybe just admit that they don't know something. We've had some clients who've tried running challenges in the LinkedIn groups, and the LinkedIn just has a very different value system, and people prefer to show up in the best possible way. So it's harder for them to admit to not know something or wanting to learn something. So Facebook groups is absolutely the best place to run it. And Facebook groups are free. All you have to do is set up a group and say, we're running the challenge in here. And that's about it. All you need is that, like I said, one opt-in page and an ability to send emails to people.
Okay, well, I love that to do this, you don't have to spend boatloads of money to get started. It sounds like you could get started pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Yes, very much so.
After you download the checklist.
And of course, like anytime you're doing something for the first time, there's a learning curve, right? You have to see how all the pieces move together. You have to see, like, here's the order we're doing things, and that's why we have the checklist. But once you do it, my people say, like, oh, they can come up with the idea for the challenge and they can start offering just a couple of days later, because you can just copy and paste everything you've done in the past, change the title, change the dates, change the emails, and you're off and running. The only other piece that we that you need to have on the side of the challenge is the challenge content itself, those 5-10 minute pre-recorded videos. So you need to have an ability to record your video, which you can do on Zoom. You can do it through your cell phone. You can post it on Vimeo. You can post it on YouTube, and then share those videos with your audience.
Okay, well, speaking as someone who really is technology challenged, it actually sounds like something I could do.
It's very doable.
Without hiring somebody else to do it for me. So I love that. So
Yeah.
Again, what is your free gift for all of our listeners? What is the name of your free gift again?
It's Profitable 5-Day Challenge Checklist, and it lists all of the essential elements that you need to have inside of your challenge. It tells you that you need to have graphics. It tells you what opt-in pages you need to have. It tells you how many emails you need to have, how many graphics you need to have. So it's the details that you might overlook if you don't have that checklist. And it's everything that it's basically a complete list of everything you need to include in your challenge to make sure you are getting the result that you want.
Absolutely. And again, I downloaded this. I read it. So it's very, very thorough. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link, because we are putting it in the show notes. And so, Alina, if people want to get in touch with you, people want to learn more, where should they go?
Okay, so the best possible way to get in touch with us is join our Facebook group. So it's called Business Owners Who Think Big. You can just search it on Facebook and ask to join. That's where we run all of our challenges. And we do, like last couple of years, we've been doing at least 5 challenges a year. So whenever you join, there's probably a challenge coming up in the next month or two, if not in a couple of days. So if you want to observe it, if you want to participate, if you want to experience it, which is one of the best ways to learn how to do something, I highly encourage you to join our group. And that's also where I post anything new and exciting that's happening in our community. You can also go to my website, businesssuccessedge.com, but it's a lot less dynamic. So if you want to know what's happening right now, join our Facebook group.
Okay, and we are going to put both of those links in the show notes, especially the Facebook group. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, join the Facebook group so you can join a challenge or see how a challenge works. Because I know actually I'm going to go do that as soon as we finish this interview.
Perfect.
Yes. So you have been listening to Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders with my very special guest, Alina Vincent. Her company is Business Success Edge, and she is a 5-day challenge expert and business strategist. And we have been talking everything challenges. So if you have found value in listening to this podcast today, then please think about one business owner, one entrepreneur, or somebody that you know that you think might also find value in listening to this podcast, and please do share the link with them. And until we meet again, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, really large bills.
You've been listening to Salesology, Conversations with Sales Leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. Be sure to follow so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every week for more exciting insights and wisdom on transforming sales. And until next time, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, very large bills.